What it do, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy D Dynamite here, aka MrBoxerDie.com, aka Mr. Holla at your motherfucking boy. So now that Canelo versus Cotto is official, it's time for me to do what I do best. Time for me to break this motherfucker down. You know what I mean? And really lay things out on the table, man. Now, in this particular video, I'm not going to give anyone any predictions, but I am going to try to lay out all the details on the table to, you know, give you guys a better understanding of not just how competitive this fight is, but the strengths of each fighter. All right, fuck, I don't know why I got so stuck on that. But anyway, that's what I'm going to attempt to do in this video. If you're not familiar with how I break down fights, just to give you a quick synopsis, what I do is I compare the attributes, the speed, power, the technical skill, and the experience, along with talking about the intangible things like chin and things like that, and also the stylistic matchup. I compare those two. I'm very familiar with both Canelo and Cotto. I mean, who's not? These guys are very big stars in boxing today. And they're going head to head. And I just can't emphasize enough that this is a very, very, very good fight, man. And I'm happy to go ahead and break this fight down. Now, with all that bullshit out the window, let's go ahead and break this fight down, okay? Now, as far as the power, okay, you know, before I go into that, let me just say that this is going to be particularly difficult to break down because, for the most part, both of these fighters are, for the most part, very comparable. All right, they're very even in most of their attributes. Okay, so that just goes to show you how good of a fight this is. All right, now let's go ahead and start with the first attribute. Okay, and the first attribute would be power. All right, now, as far as power is concerned, we're dealing with two power punchers for the most part. Both Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez have been known to knock guys out. Okay, they're both powerful guys. So how do you really gauge who's more powerful than the other? It's pretty difficult. All right, I said this at the beginning of the video. This is going to be difficult to break down. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and go with this. Okay, for logic purposes. Okay, I'm going to say that, all right, Miguel Cotto, because he's fought at lower weight divisions for most of his career, all right, and most of his knockouts have been against smaller guys, okay? So, I mean, that doesn't really mean shit, all right? Just because Cotto's been knocking out smaller guys, all right? He's still knocking motherfuckers out, but just because he's knocking out smaller guys, that doesn't necessarily mean that he has less power than Canelo. But that's the only thing I could think of, goddammit. That's the only thing I could think of to go with, because for the most part, these guys have very comparable power, all right? They both knock people out, all right? They both got good. As a matter of fact, Miguel Cotto just knocked out Daniel Gill, who in his last fight rehydrated all the way up to 190 pounds. So basically, Miguel Cotto knocked out a 190-pound dude. Okay, which is a feat in itself. All right, no matter how you slice it, no matter how many catch weights you want to talk about, Daniel Gill was 190 pounds on fight night. All right, so, but again, there's no way for me to fully give you guys an idea on who would have more power than the other guy. All right, there's just no way. All right, anyway, on to the next category, which is speed. This is another tough attribute to gauge, okay, between these two guys, because both of them have pretty good speed, all right? None of them have great speed. None of them are Mayweather or Pacquiao or anything like that, but they have good speed, okay? I don't see anyone having a definite edge over the other when it comes to speed. I say Canelo throws the crisper, maybe quicker combinations, but I say Miguel Cotto probably has a little bit of the quicker feet, all right? But not by much, okay? Because both of these guys throw good combinations, good fast combinations, and both of these guys have pretty average footwork, okay? So another hard attribute to gauge, okay? But moving right along, I did the best I could, all right? God damn it, I'm doing the best I can here. Anyway, now moving along to the experience category. Now, as far as the experience go, this is where I say that Miguel Cotto probably separates himself from Canelo Alvarez a little bit. Miguel Cotto is definitely a battle-tested veteran. He's been around a long time. He's been in multiple championship fights. Okay, Miguel Cotto is just, you know, he's true to his name. You know, he's been here before. everything that you can think of. It's Miguel Cotto, okay? And Canelo Alvarez, he's been to the rodeo before too, but he hasn't been there as many times as Miguel Cotto, all right? Miguel Cotto has fought both Mayweather and Pacquiao. He's fought anyone who's anyone, Zab Judah, anyone who's anyone that you can think of in the last decade. For the most part, Miguel Cotto has fought him, okay? So with that being said, I would say Miguel Cotto has the experience edge, okay? All right, but Canelo is definitely not green anymore. He's survived the test of time. He's fought some good guys on his way up to this particular position. Canelo's no rookie anymore, okay? He's definitely here to stay for the most part in the sport of boxing, all right? And that's that when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, all right? But Miguel Cotto still does have the advantage in that category. Now, moving right along to the technical skill category, okay? This is another category that I would probably have to give to Miguel Cotto, but not by much, okay? Canelo Alvarez has good technical skills, but Miguel Cotto, to me, is just more fundamentally sound, okay? Miguel Cotto keeps his hands up, all right? He throws a good, nice, hard, crisp jab, all right? He throws his punches correctly, his hooks to the body, hooks to the head. Everything about Miguel Cotto, the way he boxes, is just fundamentally sound for the most part, okay? So in that particular aspect, I would also have to give to Miguel Cotto, but not by much, because Canelo is also very fundamentally sound. He's good as well. Not by much, but again, I would have to go ahead and give the edge to Miguel Cotto, okay? Now, moving right along to the next category, okay? The next category would be the intangibles, okay? The intangible things are like chin, heart, age, all right? I'm going to go into, and weight I'm going to go into in this particular fight, okay? These are the things that I feel that are going to play a major role in this fight, okay? The first thing is the age. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You understand that Canelo's the younger guy, all right? He's in his mid-20s. All right, Miguel Cotto's in his mid-30s, okay? No matter how you think about it, this is going to play somewhat of a role in the fight, all right? It just is, okay? A guy in his 30s fighting a guy in his 20s, I mean, come on, all right? The guy in his 20s is going to have way more energy than the 30 guy, all right? So that's pretty much self-explanatory. Now, moving on to the next category, which is chin. Now, the chin is something that I find to be pretty interesting, and that I think is going to be interesting in this fight. Canelo Alvarez, I've never seen hurt before, okay? I've never seen him stunned, really, before, all right? I've never seen him staggered. He's never hit the canvas, as far as I know. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if the power-punching Miguel Cotto can somehow hurt Canelo Alvarez, somehow put him on his ass at any course of this fight, all right? It will be interesting to see if that could happen, all right? Because, again, I've never seen Canelo Alvarez hurt before. As opposed to Miguel Cotto, who I've had seen hurt before, all right, in multiple fights. So, and I have seen Miguel Cotto hit the floor before. So, once again, that'll be interesting. As far as who has the edge in this category, obviously it's going to be Canelo Alvarez, okay, because, he's just never been hurt. But that's what makes this fight that much more interesting. Now, moving right along to the next category, okay, which is heart. The heart category, I'm going to have to go ahead and give to Miguel Cotto. The reason being is because I've just seen Miguel Cotto beaten to a bloody pulp, all right, beaten to all avenues of hell and still fighting, okay? And that to me is the personification of heart. Not saying that Canelo doesn't have heart, but I've never seen him in any of those tough situations and fight back. You can make an argument and say that in the Mayweather fight, maybe, he did display some levels of heart, but not the same levels of heart that I've seen from Miguel Cotto in past fights, okay? Miguel Cotto's a battle-tested veteran, all right? So, and Canelo just hasn't been there yet, okay? But I'm not saying that Canelo doesn't have heart. I'm just going to give Miguel Cotto the edge when it comes to heart in this particular category, okay? And then we go to, the weight. All right, now the weight to me is going to play probably the biggest role in this fight, okay? For those of you who aren't familiar, Canelo Alvarez, all right, he rehydrates for the most part up to his 170s, okay? And if he comes in 170 in this fight, it's definitely going to give him somewhat of an advantage because, in my opinion, I think this fight is going to be fought on the inside for the most part, all right, in mid-range, which is going to give Canelo Alvarez the huge advantage. Now, that strength advantage is actually going to serve two purposes, all right? It's going to have a defensive purpose, and it's also going to have an offensive purpose, okay? First, the offensive purpose, all right? It's going to give Canelo more punching power, okay? The more weight that you have, obviously, the harder you're able to hit, okay? Because you're supposed to throw punches with your body weight behind it, all right? And if your body weight is more, obviously, that's going to add to the strength of your punch, okay? Now, it'll also serve a defensive purpose because it'll enable Canelo to be able to take more shots, all right? And the kind of fight that this is going to be more than likely is this is going to be a fight that's going to be fought for the most part on the inside, all right? We're going to see a bunch of exchanges from the inside and also at mid-range, and it's going to give Canelo an advantage when it comes to that, all right? Now, this isn't saying that Miguel Cotto is going to lose based on that. Of course not, because like I said, this is a 50-50 fight. Miguel Cotto is a very crafty veteran, all right? He's fought guys that are bigger than him before. Case in point, Antonio Margarito in the second fight. So that it doesn't really mean too much, but I do think that this is going to be one of the key factors in the fight. Now, there is a wild card. Now, the wild card is something that hasn't played a role in any of Canelo's recent fights, but it is something that I do believe may play a role in this fight, all right? And that's the stamina issue, okay? Now, lately, Canelo has been, for the most part, pretty solid as far as stamina-wise, okay? But we've seen in the past, case in point, the Mayweather fight, case in point, the Trout fight, where Canelo tends to fight in spurts, okay? And these spurts that Canelo fights in will definitely be a detriment to him in a fight versus Miguel Cotto, all right? Miguel Cotto, like I mentioned, a crafty veteran, all right? He's gone 12 rounds multiple times, all right? You can't come in there half-assing against somebody like a Miguel Cotto. You need to be fully prepared to go the full 12 rounds, all right? If Canelo's not fully prepared, if he decides that he's going to fight in spurts, it's something that could be a definite disadvantage to him in the fight. Now, all right, to briefly, moving right along, all right, past the wild card, to briefly, all right, break down the stylistic clash, all right, just to talk about the styles really quickly. Canelo is a boxer puncher, counter puncher. Miguel Cotto is a boxer puncher, but he has more of a refined, pick your punches kind of fighter, all right? Now, as far as the clash, there's no real advantage for either fighter, no real advantage for Canelo style-wise, no real advantage for Miguel Cotto style-wise, okay? Which makes things that much more interesting, okay? Because, you know, who's going to be able to take control of the fight? The pace of the fight. There's no real advantages for either fighter. This is going to be a good fight. I can't wait. I'm not going to give you guys a prediction right here. I'm actually going to wait until a little bit closer to the fight. But with all that being said, man, like I said, this is a good fight. And, you know, we'll just see, man. Anyway, let me know, what do you guys think? Who do you favor? Do you favor Canelo? Do you favor Miguel Cotto? Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Twitter, Box Capital X or Capital X Die. You can also hit me up on Facebook, Box -sign or -sign Die. But until next time, it's your boy D Dynamite signing out. Holla at your motherfucking boy.